What kind of drug deal did you have to make with your kids to help you do that? Because I saw that it probably wasn't like the thing that a teenager wanted to do. What did you have to do to get them to help?
Well, we had to pay them $100 each.
I was halfway expecting you said mom said to do this, and so they did.
No, they were like, we ain't touching it.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching 21, the show that helps you really get to know your vendors here in the Oklahoma City area. My name is Rob Jacobs. I'm the owner and lead photographer of Everything Photography OKC, and I'm sitting with Brittany, owner of Beauty by Brittany. How are you doing, Brittany?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm really good. We just did like 3 takes to get the intro in, and that's always super awkward. But now we're through that. This is all really easy. So the premise of what we're doing here, you kind of saw the first episode that actually premiered today,
Yes.
And that was with DJ Jack Steele, Brandon Lee. And the entire idea is that we have 21 questions inside this fishbowl. You're going to draw out a question, you're going to hand it to me, and then I'm going to read it off, and you're just going to answer it. And it's going to get super easy.
Okay.
If you're ready.
I am ready.
Let's do it.
I'm excited.
Cool, let's do it.
Okay. Oh, I think there's 2.
Yeah, so they like to stick together, so you have to give them a little wave, that's totally fine. So this kind of starts off on a really good note. It says, tell me about a highlight in your business so far. Something you're extremely proud of.
I have to say, a couple of times I've been able to travel and do photo shoots, makeup for photo shoots. I've been to Mississippi, I've been to Florida, I've been to even New York City.
Wow,
Yes.
What were you in Mississippi for?
A wedding, and we got to do the photo shoot and stuff with them, so yeah.
How did they hear about you?
She actually was from here.
Really?
And they went out there to move and relocate, and so she asked us to travel out there.
Okay,
So
all right. So Florida is kind of, that's destination weddings happen in Florida. People go to Florida. People go to New York. This is a big city. There's a lot of opportunity for, to travel over there to do weddings. But Mississippi, that's really cool. And what kind of style was the wedding?
It was just kind of bohemian, just real southern. Mississippi is all
Southern
about.
Belle.
Yep.
I love it. Were there any cows and bulls?
No, just elongated pastures.
Yeah, that's awesome. Oklahoma City is big in the barn venues right now.
Yes,
and
they are.
And we just did a interview with the Rustic Rose Barn, and I really think that they had got this barn venue thing down. They were telling us how they inspected and went and just investigated a bunch of different venues to create their venue.
Right.
They creeped on people, is how they said it, and they
That's
and they felt bad for it. But I was like, no, that's called what is it called? Market research.
Yes.
That just makes sense to do. So
and you have to do something that sets you apart.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And I forget who the quote's from, but different is better than better.
Yes.
So, and I wholeheartedly believe in that.
I do too.
So cool. That's really cool. So you went all the way to Mississippi.
Yep.
And then you went all the way to New York.
Yes.
And then
there's another photographer, that was out of Ada, and she does senior age photography.
Okay.
And one of my clients and her daughter
Senior
was actually
age?
yes,
Okay.
she does photography. She makes books for all the seniors, and they start like whenever they're about 7th or 8th grade, and just kind of move up. And then
All right,
those
I'm thinking old
pictures.
people.
No.
Okay, not senior citizens. Senior in high school. Oh,
yes,
that's really
senior
cool.
in high school, and so whenever they graduate, they get a book of all their pictures that they've done on their photo shoots.
That's really
Yeah.
cool.
And
And so they joined you out in New York, or?
They actually flew me out. They got me a hotel and everything, and I got to go and see them. We were in New Jersey. We went to the subway station. We went to Central Park. We went to Times Square. We did a lot of cool different
That's
places.
really awesome.
Yeah.
Congrats on that.
Thank you.
Cool. We'll go for the next one.
Okay.
So a lot of people, kind of like us, are operating small businesses,
Yes.
and behind the scenes, we have spouses or we have a support system, like this amazing girl over here behind the camera, that is working hard to pay the bills while we build this thing we're passionate about.
Yes.
What did that look like for you, and what does it look like now?
Well, in the beginning, it was hard. I actually did nursing before I went to cosmetology
I can see
school.
that.
Yes.
Okay. I can see you in some scrubs.
And yes, and I did that for 8 years, and I just got to the point where I was like, I'm ready to work for myself. I want to do something different, and I've always had a love for everything beauty.
Really? Okay.
Yes, it started when I was young. My mother was a cosmetologist, so it definitely ran in our family. And I just went to my husband one day, and I was like, I think I want to change careers, and he was like, Are you crazy? And
how much schooling did you have to go through, or were you still in school?
I did 3 years of schooling, and most of it was in high school because I graduated with my CNA license.
Okay, congrats.
And so, thank you. And then when I decided to switch, I had to quit because they just couldn't work with the schedule that I went to school from 9 o'clock in the morning until 4:30 in the afternoon, and that was just something that they could not work with.
Wow.
And so I actually went and got a certification to do eyelash extensions.
Oh wow,
And
that's
how
not nearly the same thing.
And so I was actually able to pay for my way through school, but only barely. My husband actually held the fort down, because while I was at school, after school, I would go into work for 3 or 4 hours doing eyelashes while he stayed home with the kids. He cooked, he cleaned. I mean, he was Mr. Mom for a solid
Come
10
on,
months.
what a king! That's
So,
awesome,
yes,
man.
So he took care of it, but now, we're actually both business owners. He actually started his own business too. So him getting into his thing, he's kind of taking the turn now. I'm the one who's kind of holding the fort down while he does his deal.
Yeah.
So we're both trying to live out our dreams right now.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
It's very inspirational.
Yeah.
I'm dead serious. Without Sierra, I would not be able to do what
Absolutely.
I do right now.
Me either.
I was able to quit my job.
Yeah.
Only because she's such a hard worker, and if one day she wants to, start her own thing, I'm definitely gonna return the favor and
Yes.
work my butt off. You know what I mean?
And that's exactly what I said. He was like, I said, time yet? I think it's time. And I actually was the one who went and talked to the girl that he rents the building behind her.
Okay.
And I was like, here's the money. I'm giving it to you. I'm making him start his business, because he was afraid to jump out on his own.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, no, you're doing it.
There's a chance
Yes.
that we could just sink this entire thing.
But
And if you have a team on a
Yes.
ship, it's a lot easier. And you guys have a team on a ship. so it's
absolutely,
really cool.
yeah.
Come on.
I was like, you ain't failing, because I ain't gonna let you.
Come on, man. That's awesome. Well,
Yes.
well, that's
Thanks.
really cool.
Mhm.
Okay, we'll go for the next one.
Okay.
In businesses, some clients kind of find it hard to understand that there needs to be boundaries.
Oh yes.
So my wife, Sierra, tried to talk about this beforehand. So the question I really have is, how long and how many last-minute cancellations did you really have to suffer through before deciding enough was enough and you placed a 3-strike policy?
Yes.
Because that's a great policy. That's
Yes.
fantastic. That happens in every business. But I can only imagine that after COVID and having, you made this switch over to this
Mhm.
new place,
Yes.
you don't want to be suffering through that. So
No.
tell me about that. What happened?
Okay. So.
You don't have to use any names.
No, you're
Great.
fine. I've been doing hair now for probably about 7.5 years.
Okay.
And it took me a good solid 3 years to build a very steady clientele.
Yeah, surely.
So I'm at the point now to where I stay booked out anywhere between 4 to 6, sometimes even 8 weeks, depending on the time of the year.
Yeah.
And so here recently, I made the switch to where I only take reoccurring clients. I'm not taking new clients. So
You can't handle it.
yes,
Yeah,
and
that's
on
awesome.
top of that, I have kids.
Mm.
I have a life too, and so I'm really trying to stick hard in putting my kids first. I have 2 freshmen in high school, and they're only have 4 years left, and so I'm like, I'm not missing these last moments. Like, I'm just not going to do it. So, but I didn't want to make a commitment to a new person on my client list, and then them end up being disappointed.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so that's where I just kind of drew that boundary and said, you know what, I'm not going to take any new clients. I'm only going to stick with the ones that I've had. And the other reason why is because I've had clients that have been faithful to me since day one.
Mm.
I have a couple of clients that have been faithful to me since I was in hair school.
Wow.
Yes.
How many years is that?
That's been about 8 years.
Come on, man.
So I can't let them take the repercussions of me trying to continue to add on clientele.
Surely.
So that's one reason why I rent a suite.
Yeah.
That's another reason why I don't double book, because I value my clients' time. Because when they're here with me, they're not just here to get their hair done. We're having one-on-one sessions. We're talking about life. We're doing things. And so that was a big deal for me. But if I'm doing this, I understand that life happens. I understand that things happen. But this is also my job.
Mm.
This is my livelihood. This is how I get paid.
Yeah.
And so when people call in last minute or they just no show to their appointments, it affects me and my business. It affects my paycheck. It affects how I pay my bills, how I feed my kids.
And in turn, your family.
Exactly. And so me and my assistant, Chastity, we had that conversation, and we both just decided that it was time. She's like, you're busy enough. You've got people on a wait list waiting for you.
Come on.
So if they can't respect you in your time, then you can move on.
Yeah, and if
So-
people are booking out 6 to 8 weeks,
Yes.
obviously you have something very valuable
Yes.
that these people are seeing. That's amazing. Come on.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank
and
you.
good job putting your foot down.
Yes.
You know, we seem a little bit alike. and I can only imagine that you probably dealt with that push, people pushing you around a little longer than you probably should have, and it was really hard to just put that foot down
and I try
make
to
that call.
I try to be super understanding, super accommodating, but you know, I'm like, I understand that life happens, guys, but this is my job. I mean, imagine coming in and somebody saying, "Oh, we've taken $250 out of your paycheck." You'd be like, "What?" You know?
That's exactly what it is.
So
It's exactly what it is.
But a lot of people don't understand. And I'm like, guys, it's not my hobby. I love what I do. This is my dream job, but it's still how I get paid.
Yep.
So.
Yeah. You know, I'm not working by the hour. I'm working by the person, by the client.
Yes.
Yep. That's exactly right. We'll go for the next one.
Okay.
So, where do you see most of your business coming from? Do you see a certain social media platform? Is it all word of mouth? Do you get Yelp reviews that send people over? What is it?
I don't even know if I've ever had a Yelp review.
I didn't look actually, but I imagine you probably do. You've been in business for 8 years.
Yes.
So.
Yeah, I actually, you know, when I first started doing hair, I didn't know anyone here. I came from Oklahoma City, and I moved here.
Where from?
So I lived on the south side of Oklahoma City.
Okay.
So whenever I decided to do this, I knew that I was taking a big risk, like doing booth rent and all that stuff. And so I had to start from scratch.
Wow.
Which was social media. I used Facebook and Instagram like nobody's business. I even got blocked on groups because I was posting.
They're like, you're spamming too much. It's like, I need to. You don't understand.
Yes.
I get you. I
would sit at the salon for hours and hours and hours a day. Sometimes not even getting anybody. Yeah. But that's just what you have to do. But upon building onto that, I really do think that it's been Facebook mostly. I've used a lot of Instagram. As far as weddings and stuff, I think it's really, truly, honestly been the photography and word of mouth.
Well, you've been doing some great styled shoots.
Yeah.
I've been seeing those. Those look really good.
Yes.
So I think that's helping you out a lot, truly. And we got a few photography related to makeup questions in there, so I won't go too further with that. We'll go to the next one.
Okay.
So what made you start doing makeup for weddings?
I love makeup. It is my truest 110% passion. If I could do makeup every day, all day long, I would.
Did you think you were going to do makeup for weddings like when you were in makeup or in cosmetology school? Was that the plan?
Not really.
Okay.
Not really. But I had a lot of opportunities when I was in school. That's where I really learned my foundations for makeup. I mean, I've been doing makeup since I was like this tall. Like I used to get in trouble because I was getting in my mom's makeup drawers and doing all that stuff. I was allowed to wear makeup when I was probably about 13.
Okay.
But it was the white eyeshadow, real thick, heavy black eyeliner, and super glossy lips.
Yeah, right.
90s and 2000s.
Yeah, let's go. What year were you born?
I was born in 89.
89. Okay, cool.
So leading up to that, when I got into hair school, we were really lucky with what we had. I went to Paul Mitchell in Ardmore, and it was a brand new school, so the teachers that we had were like master colorists, master stylists. Like the makeup artist was phenomenal. And so we were just lucky enough to have that kind of education. And so upon getting that, my instructor, Braden McGowan, was phenomenal. He taught me all the basics, everything that I needed to know, the do's and the don'ts, like how-tos, everything. And so I was able to take that and kind of apply it into things. And when I got out of school, I kind of got that feel of like, people don't just come in and get like their makeup done every day.
Yeah,
You know, it's got to be for an event, it has to be for something. And when I started wearing it pretty kind of what you would do for weddings myself, a lot of people would come in and they'd be like, I love your makeup. It's so pretty. You know what I mean? Yeah. And then they'd be like, can you do my makeup for my birthday or for this or for that? And then it just kind of escalated into, can you do my wedding? And I was like, and I mean, the first wedding I ever done was for one of our really good friends. And it just kind of went off of that.
So it was almost accidental.
Yes.
Yeah. You didn't choose weddings.
No.
Weddings ended up choosing you.
Yes.
Come on, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's how you know you're getting to the right field when you don't have to walk in the door. The door just kind of slams open and something pulls you inside.
Yes.
That's awesome.
And honestly, I love it. Yeah. I know it's a rush and sometimes it can be crazy, but I absolutely enjoy doing makeup. Not just for weddings, but for photo shoots, for anything. I'm like, you want it done, girl? I'll do it for you. Yes, I love it.
What goal would you like to accomplish before the end of this year? Have you thought about that?
Not really, but kind of.
You're on the spot.
Yes. So me and actually my assistant, we've kind of talked about moving locations to do a boutique salon.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah, like the front of a boutique, back end of a salon. And so we've been kind of on the hunt for that. I'm not really expecting it to happen by the end of the year, but just
some
being
piece
able
of it
to
come together. Okay.
Yeah. We prayed a lot about it, and I'm like, if it's meant to happen, it'll happen.
Come on, exactly.
But that's just kind of been in our works for right now. Just kind of see what goes on, what we can transfer to. Because really and truly, honestly, as far as the makeup side, I want to have my own like makeup studio.
Oh wow.
On the side from a hair studio.
Yeah. So, you want to design your own products and have your own products created?
Yes. That would be my ultimate goal, is to like have a makeup line and own a makeup studio and to do that stuff. Yes.
Okay. By the end of the year, you want to be at least one step closer to that.
Yes.
Really cool. Well, this one goes exactly along with that one.
Okay.
I was actually gonna have to stop talking about what you were talking about because I didn't want to mess this question up. So in 5 years, Brittany's built her perfect life, her dream life. What does that exactly look like?
To be debt free, for one.
Come on. I'm a Dave Ramsey fan. Let's go.
To be debt free and to continue living my dream. I mean, really, truly, honestly.
Yeah.
Get my kids graduated from high school and on to college or to whatever they're successful in, and just to be happy and living our life. Really.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Your business, if it involved travel, more travel.
Oh, absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah. You want to go to different countries, different parts of the United States, doing makeup for people.
Yes.
You want those calls, don't you?
Yes.
I do too. It's awesome. I mean, I can't do makeup, but if you want me to go to to Palm Springs, I'll go to Palm Springs to do somebody's makeup.
Yes.
But that's awesome. You want to own your own makeup studio.
Yes.
You want to travel.
Yes.
Do you want to own kind of a home base? Is that
really? I want to keep it here. Like that's kind of been our thing with this, is bring the big city to the small town, where you can feel like you can come in and get that big city experience.
Well, it's exactly the first thing I said when I walked in here, is that this does not feel like a small town cosmetics place, you know, a beauty shop. It isn't. You've really brought the big city here. And I love this chandelier. You guys can't see it, but it's a really pretty chandelier. Amazon, really?
Amazon.
That's a nice
$120.
chandelier. My gosh. All right. Cool.
Yep.
Good choice.
Yes.
That's great. In 5 years, I really hope to see you there, and we're gonna be watching for sure. So
I hope so.
Last year, you actually made the move into this new suite. Is that correct?
Yes, into here.
Cool. Before you could do that, obviously you had to clean up your old suite.
Yes.
What kind of drug deal did you have to make with your kids to help you do that? Because I saw that it probably wasn't like the thing that a teenager wanted to do. What'd you have to do to get them to help?
Well, we had to pay them $100 each.
I was halfway expecting you said Mom said to do this, and so they did.
No, they were like, we ain't touching it.
Hey, well, okay, look, as an entrepreneur, both of us, you're teaching them a good lesson.
Yes.
You know, someone needs something done, and they have a price for it.
Yes.
I mean, all right.
They're like, no, Mom, we ain't doing that. What you gonna pay us? Come on, pay up.
Yeah. What's the process of like a moving over here?
Oh my gosh, the process wasn't bad because we bought all new stuff for this place. My place is a little bit more shabby chic. It was real white on the gray kind of thing. Okay. So I sold a lot of stuff whenever I decided to come back into town. Okay. But cleaning it out to like clean the room out was a disaster. Yeah. It took like probably 2 weeks.
Was it dirty in places that you just never seen before?
Yes.
I don't know how that happens. We've moved a lot.
Nobody's even been in there.
Yeah, right. We've moved a lot due to the Army in the past, and every time we have to clean, it's like, how did this get dirty?
Yes.
No one exists in this area, but it's always
kids.
crazy.
Oh gosh, so we've had the luxuries of vacuum cleaners, Swiffers and sweepers, like all those cool things. And so whenever I brought out the bowl of soap and water and toothbrushes, they were like, "You're kidding," and I was like, "No, I'm not."
Yeah, well, you can't get into the crevices, like the really small crevices any other way.
Yes.
And even the big scrub brushes sometimes won't really reach it perfectly.
Yeah, no.
Oh, that's frustrating.
They hated life for a little bit, but we got it done. It looks great.
Go. Cool.
They used it for fireworks.
Oh, okay. They bought fireworks with it.
Yeah.
Okay. Sick.
So it's not like they wasted it completely.
So, as wedding photographers ourselves, what can wedding photographers really do to make the life of a makeup artist at a wedding any easier? Because sometimes we've run into the instance where makeup artists are just like, "Hey, dude, get out of my space," and I'm like, "I just have to get this photo." Yes. But what can we do to kind of make things easier?
And we're kind of the other way around. We're like, we gotta be here for the photographers. Everything's the photography. That's how we.
It feels like a giant photo shoot sometimes, doesn't it?
Yes.
And we really try to avoid that because it's not a giant photo shoot.
Yeah.
This is their day. We are very journalists. We're photojournalists for like 80% of the day, and then we have 20% of the day where we still the people away.
Yeah.
But we try to avoid doing that. So how can we do that? How can we make it easier?
The only thing that I can honestly think of is scheduling the time frame, because like everybody's like, the bride's got to be done by say 1 or 3 o'clock because the photographer's going to be here. I always recommend to come in a little earlier, so you can get those shots, like actually in action shots, not just here, put a lipstick on her, act like you're putting this on.
Yeah, come on. Okay, cool. So that's how we feel. We like being photojournalistic, like I said, and we have we have other photographers who recommend against that.
Yeah.
Who recommend nobody wants a photo taken of them with their makeup halfway done, and that makeup artist don't even want that. And I'm like, well, it's part of their day, so we photograph it to help them remember their day exactly how it was. But as a makeup artist, you like that.
I like to be in the moment.
Yeah.
I like to live. When I look at a picture, I see that moment, and so that's what I want them to see.
Yeah.
Like, oh yes, like I remember that.
Absolutely.
And I like to capture what's happening in that moment instead of.
And you don't want to remember maybe a posed image as much as a real image. Yeah, that's awesome.
Yes.
We completely agree with that, and so that's kind of what we do. We actually show up an hour and a half to 2 hours early to weddings sometimes to start getting, of course, establishing stuff and details before everybody arrives. And then whenever she starts putting on makeup, that's when we finally move in to do that. So.
Yeah, because I always do the bride last. I always. 100%.
That makes sense.
Yes, because I'm like, we need to get everybody else out of the way, and then do her, and that usually by the time everybody else is done, she can kind of see how everybody looks, and that's my other thing too. I'm like, no, these girls they're not gonna look anything like you. You are going to be drop dead gorgeous.
Come on, yeah, that's what it should be. So, absolutely,
that's my thing.
That's great. Cool. We'll go to the next one. So next question is, what are your standard rates, and how did you arrive at that number?
I actually offer consultations.
Okay.
Consultations, I think, just really can give the bride kind of a feel of what she's wanting, and we can also tweak things.
Do you do kind of a pre-gaming makeup look?
Yes. I mean, I do a full out face. I'm like,
really?
Girl, I want you to see it. Now we may tweak a couple of things there because she may wear, a certain kind of earring or a certain kind of color. Like, it just depends.
You don't want anything to clash, so you kind of just micro adjustments.
Yes.
Okay.
But for the most part, they're like, especially the ones who don't wear a lot of makeup, they're like, I don't want anything heavy. I want something really soft. But then I have to explain to them, like, guys, I know that you don't want to look like you have a lot of makeup on, but you need to have enough to where it shows up in pictures. And in pictures, it looks soft.
Yeah,
To
absolutely.
you, it may look like a lot, but to them, it's going to be soft. So, consultation is a trial run, and for that, I started out at $65.
Really? Okay. All right.
And then for the bridal application and the bridesmaids, I charge $80.
A person?
Okay. Yeah, per person.
Cool. So it's like if someone has like 2 bridesmaids, it's only $160. But if it's like 14, these giant weddings, and that's a really good profitable wedding. Does that ever help? Does it ever help you figure out what weddings to take?
Kind of, sort of, yes.
Because I can only imagine it could be a little bit difficult. Because for us, I know people want to do elopements, and they're just not as profitable. We still love doing them because we love making friends and love doing photography, period. But if we have the choice of this one or this one, we have to take the one that's going to be most profitable for the business.
Yes.
Especially if that client kind of meshes well with us.
Yes.
Is it kind of the same?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. We try to be considerate of everybody, but that's another reason why we do the contracts, because they have to pay a 20% deposit fee, and that is what guarantees their spot for that day.
Yeah.
If they don't pay, then somebody else could come in and take it, and there's not anything that we can do because you don't guarantee your spot. So.
Yeah. Yeah, contracts are a very big deal. We've been doing contracts for a long time.
Yes.
And they can save you. Yes. They can really save you, especially if you have a client that just ends up not being the highest quality of clients. And I hate saying it like that, but yeah. Contracts are the things that we focus a lot on. We've tweaked our contract 100 times to make sure it's perfect.
That's kind of what we've had to do lately.
Yeah.
Okay, and then I also offer body contouring, because sometimes people, whenever you do their makeup, it may look kind of, especially people that have redness or have freckles, you have to kind of blend all that down. So we offer the body contouring from like the neck to the chest.
Interesting.
I charge $10 extra for that.
That's it. Okay, all right. So really make everything blend together. Only $10. That just sounds pretty good to me.
Yeah. And then junior bridesmaids are ages 13 to 16, and we charge $70 for them.
Okay.
And then flower girls are usually 13 and under, and I only charge 20 to do them.
Come on. Okay. And they're just little cute little things typically.
And most of the time, it's just put on a little bit of powder just so their faces are not shiny for the cameras of photography.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Have you ever done makeup for like a flower man? I've seen a couple of
Yes.
flower men recently.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just to kind
Well,
of.
not actually. There was one of the girls that we did. We went up past Tulsa to do a wedding, and she actually found us on a Facebook group page.
Okay.
And she had one of her. It was, I guess you'd call him a bridesman. And he was like her gay best friend. He was super amazing, and we did have to do a little bit of touch up on him. So.
Okay. Cool. Yeah, I see a lot of this really fun trend of like flower boys, not necessarily flower girls. And then I think Bethany's husband was, and that was really fun to watch.
Yeah,
but,
he's a hoot.
Yeah. Did you ever do makeup on have you gotten to yet do makeup on like a flower man?
No.
I can just see it being real fun because the entire thing's supposed to be goofy anyway.
Yes.
So I'd love to see that happen. It's
Yes.
really fun.
I would listen. It's gonna be a big thing, so I'm not gonna be surprised if it is.
Yeah. I think we have 2 weddings coming up where we have flower men in it.
Yes.
It's so much fun. It's so awesome.
They gotta have great personalities, though.
Oh, they do. They gotta go all the way out or just not do it at all.
Yes.
They can't just be like, okay, I'm too manly for this. No, get out of here. Get that man card out of here. Yeah, that's awesome. We'll go for the next one.
Okay.
All right, so you've been hustling and building your business for a while now. What advice would you give yourself at the very beginning that maybe now you know, but no one was able to tell you along the way?
Set boundaries.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a theme here. I like it. Okay.
Set boundaries, because if you let people run over you and take advantage of you, it's so much harder to stop than,
It's hard to stop a moving car.
Yeah, very much so.
Yeah.
And then you feel bad, so that would be the number one advice that I would give to myself so many years ago, is to set your boundaries.
That's awesome.
I know people are excited and they're like, I gotta build my business, I gotta take this, I gotta take that. You still can, but have a cutoff.
Yeah, it's like you can only do so many for free before you have to really start charging or raising your price.
Yes.
Our first 2 weddings we shot for absolutely free, and we're very happy we did.
Yeah.
But as soon as we had that second wedding and enough in our portfolio to start marketing and showing things off and actually getting paid for stuff, we knew this is where it has to happen.
Yes.
And so I completely agree with that. You have to know where those boundaries are. It's really good.
And another thing is business is business.
Yep.
Whenever you first start, your friends will support the heck out of you. And I am so thankful for that.
Yep.
As they should. I would have done the same, and I have done the same. But when it comes to business, business is business.
Yeah. So would you expand on that a little bit? Is that kind of saying don't always do those things for free?
Yes.
Okay.
Or offer discounts and stuff like that, because again, this is your livelihood. This is your job.
Yep. And if they love you, they're not going to ruin your livelihood or give it a chance to hurt that.
Yes.
That's so true. You kind of already answered this, but where exactly was the furthest place that you traveled?
New York City.
Where'd you go in New York?
I went to New York City.
Yeah.
But we went to, we actually stayed, our hotel was in Newark, New Jersey.
Okay,
and
cool.
Then
that's a very historical town.
Yeah, and then we rode I guess it was the Amtrak, I'm not sure what it is, but the subway or whatever it is, we actually rode it into New York City, and that's where we did most of our photos.
How long was that subway ride?
It really wasn't too bad.
No? Okay.
I mean, everything else was really worse than the ride.
Really?
I mean, there's just, New York City is different. I mean, I loved it. It was a great experience, but I probably wouldn't visit again.
Yeah, it was a stressful experience.
Yes.
Yeah,
and people are not very nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's kind of the theme I always hear about New York is like everything's so fast moving and everybody's trying to get to where they're going. They're focused on what they have to do and not focused on you. Don't let me focus on you. Like that's what I hear.
And nothing is free in New York City.
Yeah.
I heard that so many times.
Really?
Yes.
What? Where did that come from?
Whenever we were lost, trying to find our way back to the subway that takes us back to Newark, this man was like, hey, I'll help you. He was so nice, so friendly. And we get down there and he's showing us exactly where to go, helps us get our little card that we have to get. And then he's like, all right, everybody pay up $10 a person.
Hello?
And there was like 12 of us. It legit made $120 off of us.
I don't know that that's legal. Is that legal?
I'm
mean,
not sure.
if you gave him the money, it's legal, I guess. But man, I'm not sure I would have paid him.
And that's literally what he said. Ain't nothing free in New York City. I was like, okay. And that's
Was it an established business?
No. I really think that that's how a lot of people make their money, is they hustle
So
like that.
interesting. Yeah, wow.
Well, he did, because we were scared. It was just a bunch of women.
Yeah, well, that and a bunch of tourists, period.
Yes.
So, we don't know.
Yeah.
We don't know what maybe this is how it goes. We don't know. It's interesting. Wow.
It was crazy.
Yeah, we'll go. Back to the bad stuff.
Right?
What is the worst customer interaction you've ever had without naming any names? If anyone specifically sticks out to you.
Right. Not necessarily that I've had like a super bad experience with makeup.
Mm-hmm.
I just believe that there's some people out there that you just can't please.
Yeah.
No matter what you do.
You're exactly right.
You know? And even though you know that you did a great job and everybody around you is like, oh my God, it's beautiful, I think there's just some people that you just can't please.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And that kind of happened.
Yes.
Oh man. And that's your worst experience.
Honestly, yes.
I'll take it.
I've never had somebody just say that they absolutely hated it
Mm-hmm.
or anything like that. Super thankful that hasn't happened to me. I don't know what I would do, but
well, all the reviews I read from you and on your Facebook page and everything like that, everybody has nothing but praise.
Yes.
So you
Thank
obviously
God.
do a good job.
Yeah.
It's just exactly that some people are just hard to please.
Yes. Well, and that's one reason why I am super thorough in our consultations and whenever we do trial runs and stuff like that, because I want you to like what you have. If you don't like it, just say that.
And so do they just nitpick it the entire time?
Yes.
Like, oh, you do this, you didn't do this right.
Yes.
Oh,
and they're
gosh.
like, I guess it looks okay. And I'm like, what do you mean?
But yeah, that's really cool. So your worst experience was just someone kind of nitpicking, and you were able to kind of mitigate your way through that.
Yeah, and I am the number one person who's going to tell you if I can't do something. If you send me a picture of something and you want that, and I'm like, I don't think I can do that, I will tell you.
Okay.
Because
And is that how you want clients to show you what they want? You want them to send you pictures?
I just want you to tell me, what's your inspiration? Mm-hmm. That's what I do.
Okay.
I'm like, these pictures that you send me are inspiration. That is not you. That is not your face. That is not your skin. That is not what you look like.
Mm-hmm.
So I will
Those
give
aren't
you
your
my
jawline.
best version
Okay.
of what you want, you know. But that's why in the consultations and the trial runs, I'm very specific with them and telling them those things, because I'm like, I want you to like what you have. I want you to fall in love with yourself on your wedding day.
Have you ever had a client? So I am fascinated with these YouTube videos and these TikToks where it's typically Asian girls, and we saw it a lot in South Korea when we lived there, that are completely different when the makeup goes on.
Absolutely.
And like even to the nose, like the fake nose stuff.
No,
have
I don't
you seen
do none
that?
of that, but yes, I have.
And like stuff up their nose, and they then pull out. Looks like a straw wrapper.
Yeah.
Like. You haven't had to do that yet.
No,
Okay, cool. And you probably won't do that. No, okay, cool. Good. Because it's absolutely terrifying when they take off the nose and it's like a piece of their face just come off. But, okay, cool.
But whenever people are not used to wearing their makeup all done up like on their wedding day, they're just probably more natural and just do like a little bit of bronzer or whatever. Whenever we do their makeup on their wedding day, they are really like, whoa, I can't believe that's what I look like.
Oh my
and I'm
gosh.
like, yeah, and you're beautiful.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's all I do. I'm like, I don't change anything. I just accentuate your beauty.
Come on. That's a great way to say it.
Yes.
Yeah. I just know that you're changing anything about them.
No.
You're just showing them off.
Yes, that's exactly right. I'm like, I want your husband to look at you and just drop his jaw.
Yeah, I love when husbands cry.
Yes.
Do you stay for the weddings? It's not a question in there.
If I'm invited, I do.
Okay,
Yes.
cool.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. I don't ever know that. Just from my experience, I don't know that they would ever mind.
Yeah.
If you stuck around to
Probably
that.
not.
Just
Yeah.
watch. But
Sometimes
I'll tell
I
you
do.
what, I love seeing a husband cry or a groom cry. It is the best day of my life, especially as a photographer and videographer.
Yes.
I love to see it. It's great on
And,
video.
yeah. And when they're all done up and they're walking down the aisle, yes, a lot of them are like, oh my gosh.
Mm-hmm.
It's amazing. I love it.
Yeah, that's awesome. So do you have a certain line of beauty products that you're like devoted to right now?
Not really. I just use what works.
Really?
Yes.
Okay, what works?
It depends on the person.
Okay.
Yes.
Cool.
There are
I don't
different
got it. I don't know these things.
Yeah. There are different things for different skin types. I really love the Estee Lauder Double Wear Foundation. I feel like it works for mostly everybody.
Okay.
There are some things that I have to mix in or, tweak a little bit, but it really just depends on the person's skin tone. If they're oily, really dry, like there's just different things you have to do for that.
Cool. And that had a lot of syllables in it. Can you say that again? What was that?
Estee Lauder?
Estee Lauder?
Yes.
Okay, cool. And there was something after that?
Double Wear Foundation.
Double Wear Foundation. Now, what
Yes.
is Double Wear Foundation? I don't know.
It's just their formulation that they use, and it is. That's what I'm wearing right now.
Is it? It looks good.
Yeah.
It looks good.
I love it. It works, and like I said, there's just a couple of different things that we have to mix in just to match the person's skin type, and then I also do correcting. So if I have to correct stuff, it's like color correcting before you apply. That way you can hide any blemishes or dark
Make my
circles.
job a whole lot easier.
Yeah.
I've had some wedding days, and where brides, they typically request is like, hey, can you please take care of some of these pimples or something like that? Stress pimples pop up, and there's some times where I've been at a computer just like removing blemishes for like an hour.
And see, I try to make that easy.
Yeah, and I love you guys. That's why I was like, we need a makeup artist to interview and talk to because they make our jobs easy.
Yes.
So that's really cool. That's really cool. Do you get those products at like Sally's or the State Beauty Supply or what do you
No, I get all my stuff mostly at Ulta. That's what I do. If I can't find it there, if I can't find it there, then I'll order it online. As far as setting spray, I usually use Urban Decay setting spray. I use e.l.f. Putty Primer, which is only $6, but it is the best.
Yeah?
Yes.
Okay.
And then as far as eyeshadows, I use either Jeffree Star or Morphe.
Okay, alright.
Yeah.
Really cool. And you get all that at Ulta?
Yeah, for the most part. I do know that they quit carrying Jeffree Star, but it's okay. I ordered his stuff online. So.
There we go. So how often do you have to keep buying stuff? Do you buy like a lot at a time?
No, I buy well, it kind of depends. When I first started, I did buy everything at one time, but I just kind of update as I go. If I run out of stuff, things expire, you have to rebuy again. It just depends on what it is. Usually, I'd say every 18 months is usually the expiration date for most things. But as long as you sanitize and stuff in between.
I've been to some beauty places where they have like test stuff out. Is that sanitary? It's just to me.
Sanitized in between, but usually the testers are only meant to be used by the person that's applying the makeup, not for everybody to stick their finger on.
Okay, cool. Because I see some lipstick and stuff sometimes, and some facial things, and I'm like, what is up with that?
Yeah. So. And see, on ours that we do, I actually have applicators for everything. Okay. So I don't apply a lip gloss or something like that directly to a person. I use a applicator to apply lip glosses and mascara, stuff like that. That's throwawayable. Yeah. Okay, good stuff. So what are some of the typical questions a bride will ask you when they start considering you as their makeup artist? Do you have pictures? Okay. How much do you charge? And do you travel? Those are the ones. Yeah, pretty much. Okay, cool. When they're asking about how much do you charge, are they asking just for themselves, or they're kind of asking for everybody? I'm assuming. Yes. Okay. And then I just screenshot them that picture that I have all my prices and stuff, and I'll send that over to them, and I'll say this is the prices that we have on our contract. If you want to know anything else, I can assist you further. And then I always ask them for their date because I stay booked out. I do a lot of weddings. Yeah. And so sometimes people will be like, oh my gosh, I want you, my wedding's this day, when can I come in for a consultation? And I'm like, well, I'm kind of already booked that day, sorry. Yeah, that's the hard thing. It's like sometimes, and we've had some times where there'll be like destination weddings that we really want to go to, like in Florida or in like Colorado at the mountains or something like that, and we're like, we have something booked already, and we're not the kind of people to back up over something we already have going on, so that gets really rough. So as far as do we travel? Yes, I do. Yeah, and you guys love to travel. Yes. You want to do that a lot more, huh? Yes. Now driving, I charge $1 a mile. Okay. And then to fly, we've had to fly before. Now to fly last time, they bought our ticket there. Yeah. And then I bought my ticket back. But they paid for the hotel and stuff while we were there. Yeah, and then if I wanted to stay extra, we could stay extra. Yeah, and that's kind of how we operate. We don't we don't buy tickets. We say, hey, you guys buy the tickets. Yeah. Or if they're uncomfortable buying the tickets, obviously we'll buy the tickets and we'll let them know how much. But we'll have to enter a contract first. Yes. So how new are you to contracts? Oh, we just started. You guys just started. Yeah. Put that in your contract. Yeah. If they want you to buy the ticket, put that in your contract and make them sign where it says that they're going to pay you back for that for the exact cost, tax and everything. I know it's something like that in there. Yeah. I need you to get on that. There we go. Yeah. It's contracts are very, very important. They've saved us a couple times. So we're starting to do work. By the time this comes out, we'll have some things shot out. We're starting to do work with a travel agency and do some videos for them. Oh, that's cool. And so we have a contract that kind of encompasses everything. It's really going to save our butts. Yeah, it's going to be fun. I love to travel.
Well, I know, we're excited. We're doing some local stuff first, and then if they like that, they're probably going to start sending us to some other places to do some other things.
Yeah.
It'll be really fun. But we are doing that, and we work with a magazine, and we just have contracts with everybody, and it just makes sense. It saves you. And you know exactly what you're getting, they know exactly what they're getting. And it's good to also have something to reference.
Yeah.
It's like, am I getting this on a contract? So.
That's awesome.
Yeah. What was the other question? So travel, charge, and then what else?
They want photo. They want to see some work.
Okay, cool. Do you have a website?
I don't, but I have a portfolio.
Okay, cool.
So,
And do you keep your portfolio on Facebook? Where do you keep that?
No, I need to. I actually have it on my iPad.
Okay.
But I usually just ask them what kind of style are you looking for, and then I'll kind of go through there and pick a couple that I think would be relatable to that style, and then I'll send it to them.
Yeah.
I don't want to overload people. You know what I mean? Because sometimes when they start looking at things, they're like, "Wow, that's a lot."
And it's so easy. So I think there's even studies out about this. But people, when they're on the internet, their minds go to multiple other places faster than if you're having a face-to-face interaction.
Yes.
You know, and so it's easy if you sit on a website to go look at that. They click off of that website and they go to Facebook or they go to somewhere else, and now they've forgotten about you completely.
Yes.
It's an interesting thing. So maybe having a portfolio in your hand and saying, "Come down to my shop. I'd love to sit down with you and show you what I have to offer," and putting a face to it as well is a very big deal. And that's kind of what, of course, this is all about. So putting a face to it is probably where you get a good hook too.
Yes, I agree.
Awesome. Cool. We'll go for the next one. Where can someone go to see a portfolio of your work?
They can private message me, or I do have some pictures on my Facebook page, which is Beauty by Brittany Osornio.
Okay.
So they can go there and look, but if they want something specific, then they can private message me, and I can send them photos too.
That's awesome. Have you thought about doing a Google Drive?
No, I haven't.
So do you use Google Drive?
I use like Google Photos for myself.
Okay.
Not...
Yeah. So Google Drive is an amazing thing. You get 15 gigabytes for free. So if you upload your photos to Google Drive, you can put them in a folder, and then you can send that folder, just label it portfolio, to someone who's asking, and they can open it up and see all that.
Yeah.
It makes it easy.
That's a really good idea. I didn't even know that.
Just an idea. Do you have any mentors that you're currently looking up to in kind of the makeup artist space? Whether you watch them on social media or YouTube?
Honestly, not really.
No? Yeah? Okay. Hey, you're fine.
I really don't. I just look at things a lot differently, I guess. I look at things and I'll go on there and watch videos and stuff like that I really like. And I might take some tips away from it, but I'm not like obsessing over an artist or something or someone. Now, if you ask me about makeup products, that's a different story.
Oh, yeah.
I do like a lot of makeup products, but only because I want to use what works.
Yeah, of course.
But when it comes to a person, I just look at them and I try to accentuate their beauty. I don't try to change them and make them something that they're not.
What would you accentuate on my face? What would that be?
Probably your cheeks.
I knew this was going to say that. I have these really pointy cheeks, and I never stop smiling. So, okay, cool. What would you do?
What do you mean?
What would you do to my cheeks? I don't
Well, I contour a little bit and just brighten it up, you know, and we do your eyes.
Every day in the morning, it's a new thing. We're going to do that. Cool, we'll go for the next one.
Okay.
Have you ever bit off more than you can chew?
Oh, God, yes.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, yes.
Oh, that was quick.
Oh,
There's
yes.
a story there. Let me hear it.
Yes. This is the first time ever that we had asked to do a wedding of 14. And I thought, surely I can do most of them by myself.
Oh.
So I took on another stylist with me just to kind of be of a quote-unquote assistant. Mostly just to kind of come in, do things a little bit here and there, you know, just to kind of help me. It worked out. It was beautiful, and they loved it. But I was sweating bullets the whole entire time.
Yeah, you were probably rushing.
No way. Yes. And then I felt bad because I felt like some of these girls didn't get the full shebang like I wanted to. And then at the end of it, I felt like I had to rush through the bride because we had taken so long on the bridesmaids.
Yeah.
And I felt horrible, but everything turned out good and it was beautiful and they loved it and I was like, thank you, Jesus.
Yeah, as long as they're cool with it. As long as they're cool with the final product.
Yes.
I totally get it. There have been some times where we have not hired a third photographer because we have myself, Sierra, and then we typically hire a third if we're doing video as well as photo.
Yes.
Because we do hybrid. And if we don't, then we're running around places and we're like, I missed something.
Yeah.
What did I miss? You know? But yeah, but as long as they're happy with it at the end, that's all that really matters.
It was good and it worked out good, but I was like, okay, I'm never doing that ever again.
So what are you gonna do? You gonna hire a third?
I actually have a girl that I use, Leah. She's here with us too, Leah Styles, and she is usually the one that is my assistant whenever I have people, usually about 7 or more.
Okay.
Just because I'm like, I don't want to rush. I don't want anybody to feel rushed. I want everybody to look good, and I want to have enough time, to get to the bride.
Yeah.
And so.
How long were you doing makeup on that specific day?
Oh gosh, I think we started at 7:30, 8:30 in the morning, and we went on until probably right before the ceremony started, which was probably about 5.
Did you eat lunch?
No.
Yeah, some time, huh?
Sometimes you don't.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Just bring
That's when protein
K-bar.
drinks come in.
Yeah, bring a K-bar, a protein drink, and suck it up. Yeah, wow. Okay, we'll go. So what does a perfect interaction from start to finish with a bride/client look like for you? Let's go with the bride. Yeah. Perfect interaction.
Start to finish. I mean, if they're just not stressed out, on the wedding day, if they can just be relaxed and like cool as a cucumber and not stressing, or people are not in their ear 24/7. Like, honestly, there are some days where I wish I had a separate area that was just like an oasis for a bride.
Yeah.
Because usually by the time the bride is getting done, there are so many people bombarding them with last minute things that they don't really get to enjoy their moment. So that if it was a perfect day for me, it really would be in a room alone where they can breathe and maybe have a mimosa and just take it in.
Yeah, you like your brides to drink while you're doing
it
makeup?
kind of helps them calm down a
Yeah,
little
absolutely.
bit. Because if not, I'm like, honey, do we need to call in a drug?
I know a guy who can help you out. But
because I'm like, you are on like cloud 9 and I need you about right here.
Oh wow.
Just the stress.
Yeah. Do they
wedding.
sweat?
Yes.
And oh man, how do you mitigate that? Like,
we just have to like put fans on them, and usually I'm like, girl, wipe your face off. Maybe sometimes we have to wash it first. Like, it just depends. So
wow, that's rough.
Yeah, we got to get them calmed down and get their nerves lowered so they can.
We bought these things. They're basically mobile air conditioning units that you just clip on your belt. And
Yeah.
we have 3 of them. So for myself, Sierra, and whoever our third photographer or videographer is. And it just goes up under your shirt and just blows cool air.
Oh, that would be
it is a
super cool.
lifesaver in July, I'm telling you.
Oh,
and I think they're like, what, really, $25, $30?
Might have to invest
They're
in
not
those.
expensive, but when you're running around on a hot day and maybe just clip 3 of those on a bride, and just be like, okay, cool down, chick.
Yes,
Like,
really, truly, honestly, because, and the other thing is when they get so overwhelmed, they start crying.
Oh, man.
And then I'm like, you can't be crying right now. Like, no, we don't need that, because if you're crying and I gotta fix things, and I'm not trying to have all that. So I will say though that the makeup lasts. Okay, it will make it through crying, but I gotta get finished first.
What is the trick to helping a bride's makeup stay on all the way throughout the day for photos?
Well, good makeup for one, a good primer, and a good setting spray.
Yeah.
And all the things in between.
We've not actually had a lot of issues with brides' makeup coming off. So we've worked with a lot of really professional makeup artists, and they've done the job really well. But I can't understand why. Because as a guy, I'm thinking water runs down your face, and there goes your makeup. But that's what it is. Yeah. It's a setting spray. It's a primer, and what else?
It's setting spray, the primer, and the products.
Really?
Yes.
It's high quality products.
And it doesn't necessarily have to be high quality. It's just, like I said, it's got to be stuff that works. Like put it to the test.
Okay.
Wear it yourself.
Yeah, and you wear it yourself.
Oh yeah. Everything, and I've changed throughout the years. I started with maybe one thing here, one thing there, and then I've found something different, and I'm like, nope, I gotta find what works.
Yeah, for sure.
Because I guarantee my brides 16 to 18 hours of wear. I'm like, girl, you can go to sleep in this makeup and wake up and it will not budge.
Yeah. For every business, we have our ideal client. What is your ideal client that you're trying to appeal to? Do you have kind of a theme that you notice? Are they kind of more Southern Belle? Are they kind of...
It's not necessarily a theme. It's just more of a style. Like, I would say my style of makeup is more of like a glam. It's more of like I can do a soft glam. I can do a big glam. So it just depends on the person and what they're looking for. It doesn't necessarily go with like the theme or the style. It's I'm gonna do what looks best on you you as the person.
Yeah.
And what I do on you isn't going to be the same as I do on somebody else.
Absolutely.
Because I'm accentuating your features.
Yeah.
You know? And so that's what I try to do. And if I look at something, I really address the eyes more than I do anything, because I think that when somebody looks at someone, they look at them in their eyes. So that's what the person, you know, whenever you look at a person, that's what you see first.
Absolutely.
Is their eyes. And so whenever they're up there with their spouse and they're exchanging their vows, what are they doing?
They're staring each other out.
Exactly.
Yeah, for sure.
And so that's what I want them to see, is I want them to look them in the eyes and be like, God, she's beautiful.
Okay.
You know?
That's the thing. Like, it really makes a lot of sense. It's kind of similar to photography.
Yes.
Is though we kind of have an ideal client. Our ideal client is kind of gentle. We like people who are very gentle but very fun to be around. We don't mesh very well with people who kind of come in like headstrong and kind of push people around. We like very gentle, very respectful people. But at the same time, they also have to like our art.
Oh, yes.
They have to like what we're doing, and that makes sense that it's the exact same way with you guys. So they come, they look at your art, and they decide this is beautiful, or you know what, this isn't my style, and then they contact you from there.
Yes.
That's awesome. That's really great.
Now, if it came to a person like that, I love people that are fun and outgoing, you know, because that's how I am. I like to talk, I like to carry on the conversation. And plus, I feel like whenever you have conversations with your clients, they're able to relax. They're able to be like, okay, I don't have to act a certain way to impress a certain person. You know? So they can be themselves. I'm like, girl, I'm not here to judge you. You do you. You know, I'm just here to do the makeup. You know, and I want to have fun if y'all are having fun.
And I'd love to make a friend.
Yes, exactly. And a lot of my clients I am friends with today on Facebook. So I follow their lives.
We'll wrap this up, and what I'm going to say is, if you guys are looking for a makeup artist who you want to make a friend out of, that you know is a high quality, high class, hard-working person, all the way from New York to Florida to Mississippi, all the way here to Oklahoma. Doesn't matter where you're at. If you want a good makeup artist, call this chick Brittany from Beauty by Brittany.
Yes.
And that name is a really good name. I like that all the B's work really well in that. Brittany, if you have one thing you want to say to everybody watching, what would it be?
I'm here. I would love to be the stylist that you choose. If you want to find me, you can find me on Facebook at Beauty by Brittany Osornio, and you can find me on Instagram at Osornio.
There we go. Brittany Osornio, thank you so much for hanging out with us. Number 4 out of 21, down and out. I love it. Here at Oklahoma City, we have a lot of wedding vendors, and we have 21 of them coming your way by the end of this year. Check back with us every Monday at 7:30 a.m. We will have a new video with a new vendor for your wedding. Take care, guys. All right! That was easy, wasn't it? I love it. After our parts, and then the part at the end,